You want to know how to be wildly successful in the fire service? Come on close. I'm going to give you 5 tips today for career success that some of them you may never hear anywhere else. Welcome, hotshots, to Firepower X. This is a place where we help you stay one step ahead of stress as a firefighter. My name is Jess. I am a former firefighter and a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner. What the hell is that? That's a personal trainer for your mind. And on this channel, we give you mental performance tips so that you can stay unbothered at work and at home as a firefighter. My street cred as a firefighter, I spent 8 years in the fire service, 5 of which in volunteer side, 3 of which in career side. I deployed down to Antarctica. I ran ambulance, I did hazmat, ARF, dispatching. I also was a lifeguard on the side. So I have varied experience in the fire service. Honestly, not much has changed since I left, besides the type of calls that we run that are now in most urban areas, predominantly EMS. But today I really want to give you some career success tips because my career ended prematurely. I don't want yours to do the same. So number 5, start now. Start mental performance training now. I don't care whether you are a total probie coming to this is your first time ever in the fire service, or you are a 25-year grizzled veteran. Mental performance training is just about learning new strategies to control your mind, to control your reactions, to interrupt feedback loops that may have been playing out your entire life. What happens with that is that we're essentially powerless to them. When we kind of slip into a feedback loop, our behavior is controlling us instead of us, again, choosing what strategy we're going to use, and most importantly, recognizing when strategies aren't working anymore. Continuing to personally develop the entire time you're in the fire service is always going to serve you. So start mental performance now. I guarantee you're going to walk away with at least one new tool to help you that's going to improve the overall quality of your life. Tip number 4, in descending order, we're going to build up to the best tip at the bottom here. Number 4, trust your gut. That sixth sense that everyone talks about in the fire service cannot be learned in a book or in some weekend training course. Your sixth sense, typically in EMS, it's sick or not sick. That is what the sixth sense information gives us, just a feeling of this person is actually ill or they're not. But your gut, when it comes to all of the things you're going to be asked to do in this profession, your gut is a reliable source of information. It's when you stop listening to it that you can really get yourself into a pickle. SOPs are great, but your gut, it's going to feed you information from your instincts that you really can't get anywhere else. When I was down at McMurdo working for the Antarctic Fire Department, I actually prevented a plane crash. I came in, I was dispatching that night, and something about the manifest, looking at the planes that had already come in, and that wasn't my primary responsibility. I just had this sense of something was off and noticed that one of the planes hadn't landed yet. And I started calling around and people kept telling me, this really isn't your scope of practice. And I'm like, cool, but my gut is telling me otherwise. And you know what ended up happening is that I did track that flight down. It had gotten delayed, it hadn't come in, and there was a low ceiling that day, which means the clouds were low. There were maintenance crews out on the ice runway grooming the ice. If I hadn't called them up and said, hey, you guys need to clear out, this plane is coming in any moment. It hasn't come in yet for the day. There could have potentially been a collision. And so again, trust your gut. That was one instance where I trusted my gut and actually prevented an emergency. And this is how we prevent emergencies too. When you're dealing with patients, when you're in situations, if you are doing fire suppression and you're inside a structure fire, trust your gut always and build that skill up. Number 3, it's all you, bud. Your wellness in this profession is your responsibility. It is your responsibility, not your captains, not your moms, not your buddies, not your romantic partners, and not your chiefs. When we delegate our well-being to how our department is being run, we throw away all our power. And what happens is we get really dissatisfied. Things aren't perfect. Life is never going to be perfect enough for us to feel safe and comfortable and whole. That is a skill and an awareness we have to maintain for ourselves. Prioritize your well-being, and that ties back into personal development. continuing your personal development, continuing your personal growth. If your immediate supervisor isn't doing that for you, isn't really teaching you good leadership skills, and you want to promote, go find it somewhere else. You are responsible for your growth and development. You are responsible for your well-being, and taking that power back from putting it in anyone else's hands keeps you in the driver's seat. That is all you, bud. This is what my career ended prematurely. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't prioritizing my well-being. I went into a bad interview. The guys got in my head and I walked out and never returned. And I was a really good firefighter. So I wish I had done that differently. I wish I'd had those skills, but I was putting my fate in someone else's hands. I know these career success tips are going to help you. If you actually do them, you have to do them in order for them to be successful. Number 2, alter ego. Have a different persona outside of being a first responder. Please. I would have retched at this piece of advice when I first started, when I was 16. I was so into being a firefighter. It was so alluring and captivating, and that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to do it all the time, nonstop. And I did as a volunteer. I was constantly there. My friends were firefighters. I was constantly hanging out at the station. I was constantly training. I was constantly learning, going to conferences and classes and growing myself to the point where it kind of dissolved every other alter egos that I had. And so what happened is when my career ended, I didn't have anything to fall back on. I didn't really know who I was outside of that identity. So develop an alter ego as a protective mechanism, as something that you can detach when you go home and you slip into parent mode or partner mode, or maybe you're a business owner. When you slip into this other mode, it gives you a mental breather from being a first responder. That is very important. That total detachment to focus on something else. It also gives you new skills to apply to the fire service. It keeps you from being siloed to just seeing things as a first responder. It's when we bring in those fresh ideas that we can innovate, that we can have more resilience, is when we know who we are besides being a firefighter or an officer or a chief or whoever you're being in the fire service. And number 1, most important career success tip for being a firefighter, being a badass, amazing, achieving firefighter: presence. Enjoy every moment of this job. You already know that this is a volatile industry. Anything can happen at any moment. Your career can be over in the blink of an eye, from an injury to line of duty accident to one of your buddies can also be in a position to suddenly be here and be gone. Your partner, here and gone, your kids. Life is so fragile. And you see the effects of this every time you roll up on scene, how fragile life is. Enjoy every moment of it. Enjoy every moment. And when you start not enjoying it, that should be a red flag to you that maybe it is time to leave. If you are deep down really not enjoying this anymore, that's presence too. Recognizing that as presence of my heart isn't in this anymore. So enjoy every moment of it. Your career could be over at any moment. You could lose any of the people that you love. And this is not to be morbid, it's to be realistic, because when we forget this, that's when the blows happen, the blows of life, where we're like, whoa, I was not expecting that. And we forget the fragility of life. And also, sometimes we forget and we overstay. We overstay in something that we're just so used to doing that we've forgotten that we loved doing it once, and reconnecting with that. So let me know what you thought. Drop a comment below. I would love to hear your success tips. If you are in the fire service, please share them. I'm happy to engage with you. And if you're looking for more mental performance strategies, tips, and a community to go along with that, join us over at firepowerx.com. That's where we've got more content just like this and practical application strategies. You can start using it in life and turn the theory into action. We'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.